Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to currently negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some of Liverpool's transfer news, also going to be giving you the latest news regarding Pep Guardiola, but I am going to delve into the topic about Pep Guardiola a bit later on in the video. So I am going to start with Liverpool's transfer news, because Liverpool, as you all know, are making plans for the summer. So they have got quite a few players on their agenda with Liverpool. As you all know, they did sign Takumi Minamino in the January transfer window for 7.25 million from Red Bull Salzburg, and I do believe he'll get more in the team next season. What will Takumi Minamino? It has been revealed how much Liverpool have spent, since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in. They have spent over £400 million in the last, 5 years or so. But yeah, so they are looking to get more players in Liverpool. I'm going to give you the latest news now regarding Kylian Mbappe, because recent reports have emerged out saying that Liverpool are now back in for Mbappe. Reportedly, PSG have received around 4 offers from 4 clubs, the 4 teams that are in for him. Liverpool are not only the team that are in for him, also we've been in for him. Real Madrid have been in for him, and Barcelona have been in for him. Now, I think his preference is a move to Real Madrid if he is to leave PSG this summer. I think Florentino Perez, who is the Real Madrid president, wants to sign Mbappe in 2021, but he is going to cost a substantial amount. It will probably cost in the region of around £200 million, will Kylian Mbappe. Now, obviously, PSG have given their overarching view on it. They're aware of the speculation. They've got no intentions of selling Kylian Mbappe this summer. So reportedly now, PSG are set to offer him a £41 million a year contract. So that equates to around £750,000 a week. So if he was to sign this new deal, that would mean he would be the highest earner at PSG, would Kylian Mbappe. So he would be the highest paid player there. And I think he would be the 3rd highest paid player in the world, just behind Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Kylian Mbappe still got around 2 years left on his current contract remaining, because he's under contract with PSG until 2022. And I think on his current contract at the moment, he's on around, £375,000 a week. Kylian Mbappe, I think, is the 2nd most expensive player in the world. PSG did get him on loan, but then obviously, they made the deal permanent. They paid £166 million in transfer fees to get a deal over the line for the player. But Kylian Mbappe, is regarded as one of the most talented elite players on the planet, and he is only at the age of 21, is Kylian Mbappe in that. So do you think he will leave PSG in the summer? Do you think he'd do well if he did come to the Premier League, Kylian Mbappe? I thought he was also very good when he was at Monaco, when he was younger. Very, very good for them. But, his speed's unbelievable. He gets them runs in behind. He creates chances. He scores goals, does Kylian Mbappe. So there is quite a few clubs that are in for the player. But if he is to leave, if recent reports are to be believed, he will go to Real Madrid. So that's the latest news regarding him. But, revert back to what I said, if Liverpool were to get Kylian Mbappe in, how would he fit in Liverpool's team? Now, that is the question, because like I mentioned, Liverpool have got an attacking trio of Salah, Firmino and Mane. And I think for Kylian Mbappe to get given his opportunities, if he was to go to Liverpool, Liverpool, of course, would have to either sell Salah, Firmino and Mane. And I'm very sceptical, that they will currently do that in the summer. But, Kylian Mbappe is a type of player, that would want to be, winning trophies and that, competing in, competitions. And this is exactly, what Liverpool are doing. But I just think, the player wants to make a move to Real Madrid. He said in another report, he doesn't really want to leave PSG. But now this new contract that PSG have offered him, it's going to be very, very hard to turn down. So, yeah, Liverpool are now back in for Kylian Mbappe. Also, I've given you the latest news regarding Kai Havertz, because also, he's another Liverpool target. Reports were coming out the other day saying that, Liverpool had identified Kai Havertz as their #1 priority target for the summer. Again, it's going to cost Liverpool a substantial amount. You know, I think Bayer Leverkusen have quoted out that they want over £100 million for Kai Havertz. He's only 28 years of age. You know, he's predominantly a box-to-box midfielder, is he? Obviously, up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Bayer Leverkusen as Kai Havertz. I think also Bayern Munich have been interested in him. But the recent reports I did read up, it said, you know, Bayer Leverkusen, you know, may have now doubts. Bayern Munich, sorry, may have doubts now about, you know, getting Kai Havertz in on the board. So he's another Liverpool, you know, target. Also, you know, they are still in for Jadon Sancho. So reckon that up, you know, if Liverpool were to get Mbappe in, that'd be about £200 million. Plus Kai Havertz, just over £100 million. So that's over £300 million on two players. You know, and Jadon Sancho as well, you know, Dortmund want over £100 million for him, but I don't see now Liverpool anywhere getting Jadon Sancho on the board. But yeah, you know, they have got quite a few players on their agenda. You know, there's also been rumours about Coutinho possibly, you know, going back to Liverpool, but I don't see that happening. It did actually say if Liverpool were to miss out on Kai Havertz, they'd go back in for Coutinho. You know, I think Philippe Coutinho will now regret leaving Liverpool because he enjoyed 5 great years with Liverpool, and reflects on how dominant they are now, you know, he would have wished he had stayed, Coutinho. Of course, you know, Liverpool would have been disappointed to get rid of him, but, you know, they wouldn't have been disappointed from a financial point of view, you know, because Liverpool got £142 million for him. This is how much Barcelona paid, and I thought he's been very poor at Barcelona. He's currently on loan now at Bayern Munich as Coutinho. Played under Mauricio Pochettino's guidance when he was younger at Espanyol, when he was on loan there. Liverpool only paid £8.5 million for Philippe Coutinho, but he won't be going back to Liverpool, I can't assure that. But, you know, on the other hand, you know, Liverpool, I do believe, will generate funds this summer because, you know, Liverpool I think are going to get rid of some players this summer. So I think they'll probably sign about 2 or 3 players in the summer, and they'll also probably get rid of around 4 or 5 players. I think the players that are expected to leave Liverpool, Adam Lallana, he's one. I think, you know, he will leave on a free at the end of the season, will Adam Lallana. You know, he hasn't been so bad for Liverpool, but obviously, you know, he doesn't really get in the team anymore. You know, Naby Keita, he's another one. You know, Liverpool got him from RB Leipzig, but again, doesn't really get in the team, isn't first choice. I think he fulfills that number 8 role as Naby Keita. So obviously they can cash in for him if they get rid of him in the summer. I think they'll definitely get rid of Nathaniel Klein because obviously, you know, Nathaniel Klein's very injury prone. Obviously, you know, Trent Alexander-Arnold is Liverpool's first choice right back anywhere. Maybe Klein's good there as a backup, but he's always injured anywhere. So I think Liverpool, you know, will obviously, you know, try and get rid of him in the summer. You know, Dejan Lovren, he's another player. You know, I think they'll also get rid of him because Liverpool have got a lot of centre-halves in their team. You know, obviously they've got Van Dijk, they've got Lovren, they've got Matip, they've got Gomez. You know, so they have got quite a few centre-halves. But I think they'll get rid of Lovren. Joe Matip maybe moved on, but I don't think in the summer. I think Liverpool will move him on at some point in the future. They'll move Joe Matip on. I think they'll also get rid of Shaqiri. He's good there as a backup option, is Shaqiri. You know, he is, and he tends to make an impact on the sub. He's had a few good games for Liverpool. You know, Liverpool got him for 13 million from Stoke, but I think they'll move him on. Divock Origi, I think they'll also move him on. Again, good as a backup to the likes of Firmino, Mane and Salah. You know, one of his best games as a Liverpool player, you know, was last season when Liverpool, you know, did produce that miraculous comeback. You know, when they overcome that 3-goal deficit against Barcelona, he scored twice, I think, in the second leg, did Divock Origi. You know, yes, he did. Georginio Wijnaldum could be moved on in the future, but maybe, you know, not in the summer. So, yeah, Liverpool will definitely, you know, currently get rid of players in that. And I gave you the news, didn't I, regarding Virgil van Dijk. It was a couple of days ago I gave you the news regarding Virgil van Dijk. It did say that Virgil van Dijk is set to sign a new contract with Liverpool worth around £50 million. The main explanation for this new contract is to fend Juventus' interest off because, you know, Juventus have expressed their interest. I think a few other clubs have been in for him. And the other explanation why he's getting a new contract is reflecting on his good run of performances. You know, Virgil van Dijk is the best centre-half in the world. You know, he's Liverpool's most expensive signing. He's the second most expensive defender in the world. And I actually think he's one of Liverpool's highest paid players, not only their most expensive signing. Virgil van Dijk, I think, has got 3 years left on his current contract at the moment, as he with Liverpool. Something like around 3 years left on his current contract. On his current contract, he's on around £120,000 a week. But in this new contract, he's going to get a pay rise. I think he'll get around £150,000 a week. On the new contract, but with bonuses and, you know, image rights included, it will rise up to £200,000 a week. So that means in that aspect, you know, Virgil van Dijk will be the highest paid centre-half in the Premier League, you know. But he's done really, really well for Liverpool since his arrival from Southampton back in January 2018. You know, obviously, teams to the elite teams to the elite level are obviously, you know, going to want to get a player like Virgil van Dijk. But, you know, Virgil van Dijk has got no intentions of leaving Liverpool. You know, absolutely fantastic centre-half. So, yeah, I don't know if he's signed the contract yet, but the last time I read about it, you know, he was closing on signing one in the summer transfer window. But like I said, you know, Liverpool doing really, really well this season. Obviously, you know, they only need, you know, 6 wins out of the 13 games they've got left, you know, to clinch their first ever Premier League title. And that means it will end their 30-year drought, you know, because Liverpool haven't won it for 30 years. And it will be their 19th overall because they've won 18 Old First Divisions at the moment. You know, Liverpool are sitting 22 points clear at the top. If they do beat Norwich tomorrow, Liverpool can go 25 points clear because City's game against West Ham, you know, not too long ago got called off. So that's been rescheduled now to Wednesday. So by the time City play, they could find themselves 25 points behind. You know, Liverpool, if they beat Norwich tomorrow, they will extend their unbeaten run to 43 in the Premier League. And, you know, Liverpool have not been beat at Anfield now for almost 3 years. But, you know, very, very convinced they're going to beat Norwich. You know, it's top against bottom. You know, Norwich have only registered 18 points this season out of 25 games. Realistically, Norwich are going down. You know, Liverpool beat Norwich early on this season by 4-1. Well, it was at the start of the season. Liverpool beat Norwich by 4-1. You know, and Liverpool are breaking records. You know, I think Liverpool this season are going to finish on 100 points minimum. I think they're probably going to finish on more than 100 points, to be fair. So they're going to break Manchester City's record from a couple of years ago, you know, when City, you know, did get 100 points. And I think Liverpool could be the Invincibles this season. You know, don't forget the only team in the Premier League era to go undefeated is Arsenal. And they did that around 16 years ago now because Arsenal did that back in 2004. But, you know, Liverpool can do it. Liverpool's last league defeat was Manchester City last season. And, you know, reflects on it this season, we're the only team, Man United, this season to take any points from Liverpool because it obviously, you know, was 1-1 at Old Trafford. Liverpool have had a lot of injuries this season, so, you know, realistically, they don't really need any signings, but reflect on the injuries they've had. They want to try and make more signings in the January transfer window. Because obviously, you know, Chamberlain's been injured, but he's just recently come back and rejuvenated himself. Fabinho, he's just, you know, recently come back, he's rejuvenated himself. You know, I think, you know, now most of their players are back from injury. Now, I think Mane is going to be available to play for them tomorrow against Norwich. You know, he's been out, you know, recently as Sadio Mane, but still hasn't affected Liverpool. I think, you know, Klein's still out. Shaqiri's still out. You know, Matip was also injured earlier on the season. So, analyse it, you know, Liverpool have had a lot of injuries this season. But I'm sure, you know, they will make more investment in the summer. But now I do believe Liverpool are not one-season wonders. I think Liverpool can win the league for the next 2 to 3 years at least. I think they're also expected to win more Champions Leagues. And, you know, we know that they're going to win the Premier League this season. But I think they could also win the Champions League this season. You know, don't forget, you know, they've got a good pedigree in the Champions League. They've already won the competition 6 times. You know, they won it last season against Tottenham. They progressed to the final the season before, but lost to Real Madrid 3-1. You know, take into account as well, they're in the FA Cup 5th round, surprisingly. The FA Cup isn't a priority anywhere for Liverpool. It's going to be interesting to see how, Klopp approaches the game against Chelsea in the 5th round. He'll probably play some inexperienced players, but obviously he'll play some of the first team players as well. He'll probably play a similar team to how he did do against Shrewsbury in the first match, when it was 2-2. But it'll be interesting to see how he approaches the game. But, Liverpool are now into the 5th round of the Cup for the first time since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in. For the first time since Jurgen Klopp got recommended in and that. But, the FA Cup isn't a priority for them. But on the other hand, Liverpool have not won the FA Cup since 2006. Liverpool are on 3 major honours under Jurgen Klopp. They've won 3 major honours under Klopp. The most recent one they won was the FIFA Club World Cup. They won the Super Cup earlier on in the season. And they won, the Champions League at the end of last season. So when they win the Premier League, it will be their 4th major honour under Jurgen Klopp. But like I said, Jurgen Klopp's a very, very good manager. His philosophy is very good for Liverpool. But like I mentioned, he's always had a style of play as Jurgen Klopp. Always had a style of play. He had this style of play when he was at Borussia Dortmund. And he also won a couple of titles with Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget, Jurgen Klopp is under contract with Liverpool until 2024. When he does eventually, leave Liverpool, I think he will make a return back to Germany. I think he'll make a return back to Germany, to be fair, will Jurgen Klopp. But, Jurgen Klopp is the best manager, Liverpool have had in this generation. Like I've mentioned, they've had some good managers over the years, but in this generation, Jurgen Klopp is one of the best ones, that they've currently had. But, Liverpool will be finally relieved, to get the Premier League on the board. They've come close on quite a few occasions. Last season they was unlucky not to win it because last season they finished on 97 points, did Liverpool. Lost it by a point. They came close under the Brendan Rodgers era, because they did enjoy one good season under Brendan Rodgers. Came close back in 2009, I think, under Rafa Benitez. So yeah, Liverpool have come close on quite a few occasions. But yeah, they are going to definitely win it this season. And then what they'll do is they'll look to strengthen up more in the summer. Then, they will, try and win the league again next season, will Liverpool and that. But I'm surprised, how far Liverpool are in front, because I thought it would have been a lot closer, to be quite honest with you. But obviously, Man City haven't been as good this season as, everybody expected them to be. But Liverpool, like I mentioned, they've got a really, really good squad. They've backed the manager. And, like I said, they haven't, spent loads and loads and loads. They've been sensible with their recruitment. The players a unit. They've got 2 fantastic fullbacks in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool didn't buy him, obviously, because he's up until this point, he's spent the entirety of his career with Liverpool. He's been a Liverpool player since the age of six, is it? 7, Trent Alexander-Arnold. They've got Andrew Robinson there, left back. They only paid around £3 million in from Hull. Virgil van Dijk's good. Allison's very, very good now. He's the best goalkeeper in the world at this present time, but not overall. Liverpool have got a lot of midfielders in the team. Jorginho Wijnaldum's still good. Fabinho's good. Chamberlain's good, despite the fact that he's sustained a lot of injuries. Who else have they got in there? Keita, like I said, he's done okay in some games, but doesn't really get his chances now. And they've got a great attacking trio in Salah, Firmino and Mane. And, they do really, really well. They complement each other. Salah hasn't been as good this season. He's created a lot of chances, but he hasn't really had that clinical element. Mane and Firmino have been in good form. I think they've been in better form than Mohamed Salah, to be fair. But Liverpool have got a really, really good squad. And because they've addressed the deficiencies in the squad and that. And this is why, they're as good as they are now. To be quite honest with you. And of course, Liverpool, beat Shrewsbury, in the FA Cup 4th round replay. Surprisingly, because, Liverpool had played the under-23s. And Jurgen Klopp did get a lot of criticism for that. People had different perceptions on it. Some people said, it was the right decision. Some people said it was the wrong decision to do that. But he went with the under-23s. But to be fair, Liverpool have played a lot of games this season. But they still beat Shrewsbury by 1-0. And Liverpool haven't only got a good first team. They've also got a lot of good, young players that are coming through. Like Curtis Jones looks impressive. He scored 2 senior goals for them. You know, Harvey Elliott looks a pretty decent player. That Larouche, I haven't seen him play much, so I don't really have a perception on that Larouche. Obviously, you know, Liam Miller, he was playing in the replay against Shrewsbury. You know, Adam Lewis. That Van der Berg did really well for them at centre-half. You know, Nico Williams doesn't seem bad either. You know, so Liverpool have got a pretty decent young players in their team, to be fair, and that, you know, their last league win was Southampton 4-0, and yeah, I think they're going to comfortably, you know, beat Norwich or Liverpool, to be quite honest with you, and that. But yeah, you know, that's, you know, the latest on Liverpool and, you know, their, you know, transfer news and that. So yeah, they are now back in for Mbappe. So now let's delve into the topic regarding Pep Guardiola. Now, reportedly, I was reading reports about Pep Guardiola yesterday, and it did say, you know, he could be sacked, Pep Guardiola, you know, if Manchester City don't beat Real Madrid. Well, he actually said himself he could be sacked if Man City don't beat Real Madrid. Now, obviously, you know, Manchester City have never won the Champions League. You know, they haven't won it in their history. And that's something, of course, Pep Guardiola does want to win with Man City in that. Because the last time Pep Guardiola won the Champions League, he was Barcelona manager. But Man City, of course, haven't got a good pedigree in the Champions League anywhere. I think the furthest they've progressed in the Champions League is to the semi-final and that. And they are aware that Real Madrid is going to be a very tough game for them. Now, it's him saying it himself, Pep Guardiola, but it doesn't mean, you know, he will be sacked if Manchester City don't beat Real Madrid. You know, I'm just, you know, telling you, know, what was said in the mainstream media. Now, I think Pep Guardiola is into his 4th season as Manchester City manager. You know, I think he's won over 100 games in the Premier League. You know, he has won 7 major honours with Man City. You know, obviously, you know, last season won the domestic treble with them. They won the Premier League, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. City are looking to win the Carabao Cup, obviously, you know, for the 3rd time on the trot because they're in the final now against Aston Villa. Obviously, you know, they won the Premier League the season before, and he's won a few other trophies with Man City. And City, you know, were hopeful this season that they could win their 3rd title on the trot because, you know, they have won back-to-back titles, but obviously, you know, they're not going to win the 3rd title on the trot. You know, the last team to win 3 back-to-back titles was us back in 2007, 2008 and 2009. But, you know, I don't know if Pep Guardiola will be sacked. You know, Pep Guardiola is regarded as one of the best managers of all time, basically. But the main explanation why Pep Guardiola is so good as he is because of Marcelo Bielsa. You know, because he worked with Marcelo Bielsa, you know, when he was younger. And, you know, Marcelo Bielsa, you know, got him of how good he is. So, you know, Pep Guardiola now is following Marcelo Bielsa's philosophy. You know, Pep Guardiola spent a hell of a lot of money as well in his managerial career. He spent over £1 billion. You know, that's including what he spent at Barcelona and Bayern Munich, you know, Pep Guardiola. But, you know, he spent more than half of that on that Manchester City team. But, you know, City are still regarded as one of the best teams in England, you know. Obviously Guardiola a while back, you know, giving up on the title, so he's just hopeful that City can get, you know, runners up this season. But he does want to win the Champions League. You know, City as well can possibly win the FA Cup. But Real Madrid's going to be a very, very difficult game for them. You know, Real Madrid, you know, are the most successful team in Champions League history because they've won the most Champions Leagues of Real Madrid. Obviously, you know, Zinedine Zidane's their manager. At one point, he walked out of the job, but then obviously returned, you know, 9 months later. You know, and you know, Real Madrid have got some pretty decent players. They've got Hazard last summer from Chelsea for, was it like 140, 150 million. They've got Rodrigo in there. They've got Benzema. You know, but Gareth Bale's still there. And, you know, he's now into his 7th season as a Real Madrid player. I possibly can see Bale leaving in the summer. You know, they've still got Isco there. They've got James Rodriguez. He was previously on loan with Bayern Munich. You know, Toni Kroos. So Real Madrid have got a pretty decent team. You know, don't forget they did lose Ronaldo. I think Ronaldo enjoyed a good, 9 years with Real Madrid. He was a long-serving player for Real Madrid because Real Madrid bought him for £80 million of us. So, yeah, it'd be a tough game. You know, City don't play Real Madrid in the first leg. I think is it on until the 26th of February. You know, but we will currently see. But they are into knockout stages anywhere. But yeah, Pep Guardiola possibly could be sacked if Manchester City do not beat Real Madrid and they go out of the Champions League. So that's the latest news regarding that. So yeah, guys, that's everything to update you today. You know, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribing. As always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.